Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Today we're mock drafting for strictly the NFC East. And if you guys don't like that concept or whatever, click off the video now. But basically we're going to be doing all the Eagles picks, all the Giants picks and whatever, all of the Commanders, Cowgirls picks for the first 3 rounds of the mock, or for the first 3 rounds of the draft. And I think at one of these spots is never talked about. One of the teams that has not been talked about this whole process. And to me, that's been the New York Giants. I haven't seen much New York Giants talk all offseason long. Bobby Okereke was a good signing, and that's probably the one thing that's probably notable about this team is right now, I don't really find this, an appealing spot. So I don't think a lot of people do. I don't think a lot of people really care much. The Eagles have been talking about a fair amount this offseason between pick 10 and 30 even. Cowboys with their Bijan Robinson pretty much at 26 is not stone cold, but looks like that's pretty much the thing. Commanders can go offensive line, corner, tackle, whatever they want to go here at 16. If someone falls to them, I don't think that they'd even hesitate to take him. But we do have a top 10 pick on this draft here using these people. So we'll go ahead and start the draft. CJ Stroud, Bryce Young, Devin Witherspoon, Will Levis, Will Anderson, Christian Gonzalez, Paris Johnson, Joey Porter, and Jalen Carter. So that is a little interesting. This is the best draft order I've seen from NFL mock draft database. So CJ Stroud, Bryce Young, Devin Witherspoon, Will Levis to the Colts instead of Anthony Richardson is a little interesting. Will Anderson at 5, dream scenario. Christian Gonzalez at 6, Parrish at 7, Joey Porter at 8, Jalen Carter at 9. Here at number 10, if Tyree Wilson's still on the board, I don't think that you can, pass. You can't say pass on Tyree Wilson. So go ahead and pick Tyree Wilson. And then here at number 16, with Anthony Richardson still here, very small chance he actually falls this far. But since our last pick at Tyree Wilson, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Miles Murphy, Broderick Jones, Quentin Johnson, all of them off the board, leaves 2 very appealing options, and that is Peter Skoronski and Anthony Richardson. They also do need corner, so if you want to reach on Deontay Banks, but at 47, you could maybe get a Brents, Forbes, or Phillips guy. So we'll see how that kind of ages for them. I wouldn't bet on that. So if you are desperately into one of these corners, you can go ahead and do that. But other than that, for me, it's probably Peter Skoronski, versatile offensive lineman. You can move Leno. You can probably start him over Leno at this point. You could probably move him if you want to keep Leno at left tackle for another year. You could slide Leno to right tackle. You slide Skoronski to right tackle. Whole bunch of things you could do here with Skoronski on that offensive line. Anthony Richardson, though, I mean, you need a quarterback. I like Sam Howell a lot. And just for the realism of I don't think Anthony Richardson will be here, I'm just going to go Peter Skoronski. Lucas Van Ness. Deontay Banks goes off the board, so that's a little bit rough. And then Anthony Richardson goes to Jacksonville at 24. Sure. We'll go ahead and just roll with that. And then here with New York at 25, you need plenty of things, but I'm going to mock this again. They need guard. Osiris Torrance is there. I'm going to take him. I don't think that's really a surprise. And then, yeah, here's what we were talking about. Bijan just always seems to be there at 26 for this Cowgirls team in every single mock draft. So give me Bijan Robinson at 26. I don't think it's a bad pick at all. Then Philly picks again after picking Tyree Wilson at number 1 or whatever. Your 30-year-old boundary corners aren't good. At 30 years old, it's not a good situation. They're great players, but it's not good roster-wise. Obviously, you signed 2 of really good corners back, but it's not good to the extent that you have to pretty much rely on those 2 staying healthy. And at 30 years old, 30 plus years old, it's not easy to rely on. A guy like that. It's not easy to sleep at night, and I think that really comes into no depth. I think I've heard Zach McPherson's name is the next best guy, and tell me who that is. I mean, I couldn't even tell you who that is. And then Avonte Maddox is not strictly a slot corner, I guess. I bet he could move outside, but to still have Keely Ringo on the board here, I think it's just got to happen. 30, Keely Ringo. I don't think that's a pick that's talked about nearly often enough. I mean, they talk about how you can stack up offensive linemen for later and whatnot, but it is what it is. Here at 47, Darnell Washington has fallen. That's very fun. Trenton Simpson also huge on Trenton Simpson. But we'll go back and go ahead and look at all of the picks since our last pick. So Keely Ringo, and it went DeJuan Jones, Will McDonald, Darnell Wright, Keon White, Anton Harrison, Tatami Adebawore, John Michael Schmitz, Emmanuel Forbes, BJ Ojolari, Brian Branch, Joe Tippmann, Michael Mayer, Drew Sanders, Josh Downs, Luke Musgrave, and Felix Ndidi Uzama. So all the edge rushers and all that, gone. So who do you have here? I mentioned you need corner. Is Brent's available or someone at 97? I don't think so. My favorite out of these top three, I'm not going to lie, is Tariq Stevenson. I watched Julius Brents get absolutely cooked by Quentin Johnston in that bowl game, the end of this season, so or the Big 12 championship, whatever conference they're in. And so, I mean, I think Tariq Stevenson is the best out of the bunch left. So I'll go at 47. I'll go with Tariq Stevenson and really have no problem. And then here with the New York Giants, and then we'll have the Dallas Cowboys up in just a minute here. Says they need receiver. Hyatt's on the board, so you could have Hodgins, Hyatt, Shepard, Wandale. Did you kept Darius Slayton as well? Don't know what happened to me. At the spot, it's definitely a Julius Brents. You're in need of an outside boundary corner. I could see Derek Hall here. Mock, Vila, Foskey. You could all make good arguments. Bergeron, whatever, all that good stuff. For me, it comes down to what do you need more is receiver or boundary corner, and who do you value a little bit higher? You can get receivers down the board that aren't quite as athletically gifted as Jalen Hyatt, but I'm just going to go Julius Brents here at 57. The New York Football Giants can cry about it. And here at 58, it gets interesting because Jalen Hyatt's right here on the top of the board. I like the fit. You would like some speed with some of those CD Lamb, Michael Gallup type of guys. They have one more veteran on there. Why can't I remember who else is on that team? It was kind of a big ad in free agency, I feel like. Yeah, Brandon Cooks. Forgot about him. So, yeah, he is a cowgirl. Just to remember that. And then tight ends left on the board, Tucker Kraft and whatnot. I don't want one. I love Jake. I love Jake Ferguson, my Wisconsin tight end. So, stay away from him. Let's go Jalen Hyatt. Dude, screw it. Why not? I didn't even think about it. It just kind of happened. And then here at 62, you have Rashad Penny. You have Kenneth Gainwell. You have Boston Scott. I'd seriously look towards Devin Achane here. But you know who else I'd look for? Cody Mock. Someone that can play all 5 positions on the offensive line. That's almost exactly what you're looking at. Maybe you have Cam Jurgens to come in and play. But what happens when Lane Johnson retires? What happens when Jason Kelsey's obviously up and out of there? That was Cam Jurgens' spot. But obviously you have a void at guard. I think Isaac Samalo was the guy that was starting there for you. Not anymore. So Cody Mock at 62 to me is incredible value. Should be a fun player as the process goes on. I think he'll be talked about highly in the second round, but we'll kind of see how that ages. We'll keep going down the line here towards the back end of the third round. We'll get to the most untalked about team, in my opinion, and that is with the New York Football Giants. Could you want Devin Achane at the spot? You definitely can want Devin Achane. I don't think that's illegal or anything like that. Still says that they need receiver. I love Rashee Rice, especially after the catch. I don't think they need receiver as desperately as that. I think you can take a Mingo, Reed, Wilson down the board, Trey Palmer, Rakim Jarrett, Charlie Jones, Ishavas, or however you would say that. Trey Tucker's really good, but probably not that good to the point where you're taking him in the 4th, 5th, whatever, 6th round. He's probably a bona fide 7th UDFA guy. But for me, at this spot, it's a tough one to pick at for sure. I like linebacker for them despite the Bobby Okereke signing. So I like Dan Henley at this spot. I do. It's just I don't think that's really how it's going to age for me. I'm going to go Devin Achane here. You've been looking for that second back, I feel like. Who did they have last year? Dude, it was some UDFA running back. I'm trying to think of the name. Gary Brightwell, I think, was on that team, but I don't think that's the guy I'm listening. So they re-signed Matt Breida, got Deshaun Corbin. Deshaun Corbin was the guy I was thinking of. And then at wide receiver, you even added Paris Campbell, Darius Slayton. You have Jamison Crowder, Sterling Shepard, Rondale. I don't think they need it. I know it's not like a fix forever with the 1-year deal with Paris Campbell. Obviously, Hodgins, it could be long-term, but if he is still actually that good, don't know. Wandale is obviously long-term, but Darius Slayton, Sterling Shepard, guys like that might be on the fringe. So kind of see how that goes. But here at number 90, you are the Cowgirls here, I think it's got to be best player available, and unfortunately Tucker Kraft is here. I don't really want to take Tucker Kraft. They need corner, right? Can we take corner here? Is that Is that legal? Just because I don't like Ferguson, or just because I love Ferguson, I don't want to draft a tight end. So I'm gonna go Eli Ricks here at number 90. So that's pretty good. Here at number 94, bad thing Rashee Rice just goes off the board. That would have been ideal as hell at this next spot here at 94. But fortunately, Sidney Brown's here. I don't know how much you like the Reed Blankenship kid. UDFA last season, came onto the team, played good against the Packers, kind of solidified himself in a starting role for the remainder of the season. You lost Marcus Epps, you lose Chauncey Gardner-Johnson or CJ Gardner-Johnson. Leaving questions. Which one? What's Asian here? And I think Sidney Brown is a incredibly athletically gifted human being and just a ball of fire. So give me Sidney Brown at 94. I think I really love that pick. Carl Brooks. And then here at number 47, we talked about, corner them. We got him Tyreek Stevenson. We talked about offensive line for him. We got Peter Skoronski. I think he did a really good job addressing the positions of needs, and I think this is where Tucker Kraft actually ends up falling off the board. I love how much Dayan Henley kind of fits here. Dayan Henley is a good player. I think he's a better cover linebacker, if I'm not mistaken. I think he's a little bit more light on his feet. If I'm thinking of the right guy, I'm sorry if I'm not all in on these players. I don't know, these players' film breakdown. I don't know all that, but I know what the team needs. I know what the teams look like and whatnot. So I like to draft off of predictive stuff. And at this spot, how much longer is Logan Thomas going to be your guy? I'm going to go Tucker Kraft, South Dakota State University, and we have no more picks there. So Washington Commanders finish with Peter Skoronski, Tyreek Stevenson, and Tucker Kraft. All good players. I think you get good value on all of them. Maybe Tyreek Stevenson was taken a little premature, but if you can develop into a good player, it really doesn't matter for you. And then probably the best draft of these four is Tyree Wilson, Keely Ringo, Cody Mock, and Sidney Brown. I love this Cody Mock pick. I think that just needs to be talked about a little bit more. Back end of that second round. Yeah, you can't pass up on that. And then New York Giants was good as well. Devin Achane's a good player, opposite of Saquon. I think that they really complement each other well. How much Devin Achane will be used? Probably less than you'd think. Julius Brents is really good. Or can be really good. He's got tools. He's got 6'4", huge, massive human being. Osiris Torrance at 25, just an interior guard, pretty much. Guard who can play ball, and I think that's what you're looking for. So that'll be all for me. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoy. That'll be all. Yeah, if you guys like the video, consider liking and subscribing to the channel and whatnot. I'd really appreciate it, but that'll be all. So see you guys next time.